Welcome to Coinsworth TV, where ordinary coins reveal extraordinary secrets. Today, we dive into the mysterious world of an ultra-rare Washington quarter, a coin that may look dirty and forgotten yet could carry unimaginable value. Stay with us, because what seems like loose change today might just have the power to change your fortune overnight. Top 5 first up. The Washington quarter is one of the most familiar coins in United States history, but hidden among the billions struck, there exists a shadow category of coins so rare and misunderstood that most people would never imagine their true potential. Today we are talking about a 1980 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, a coin that many people dismiss as ordinary, especially when it appears dirty, worn, or damaged. But what if that very condition is the reason collectors hunt it? What if that grime is not decay, but a disguise hiding something extraordinary? In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of quarters, but mass production is exactly where rare mistakes are born. When dies wear out, when planchets slip through inspection, when pressure, alignment, or metal composition goes wrong, history is quietly rewritten in metal. Most of these coins were spent without a second thought, dropped into vending machines, buried in drawers, or forgotten in jars. Yet a microscopic fraction survived with unimaginable errors so extreme that they turn a common quarter into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. What makes the 1980 P Washington quarter especially fascinating is that Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark errors of their own, meaning collectors must rely on subtle diagnostics rather than obvious clues. Some rare examples from this era are known to exhibit dramatic off-metal strikes, wrong alloy compositions, doubled dies so strong they appear three-dimensional, or minting anomalies that were never meant to leave the building. These are not small flaws, these are coins that defy what a quarter is supposed to be. Now here is where most people make a fatal mistake. They see a dirty coin and try to clean it. They scrub it, polish it, destroy the surface, and unknowingly erase the very evidence that gives the coin power. Dirt, oxidation, and wear can actually protect rare mint characteristics, sealing them away for decades. A heavily circulated quarter may still carry an error so rare that condition becomes secondary to existence. In the elite world of error collecting, rarity outranks beauty every time. There are legendary cases where coins that looked worthless at first glance later shocked the collecting world. Coins once traded for pocket change later revealed to be unique die trials, experimental strikes, or transitional errors never meant for release. These are the kinds of coins that do not follow price guides because there is nothing to compare them to. When only one or two examples exist, the market does not decide the price, the owner does. This is where the idea of millions enters the conversation. A coin does not become worth millions because it is old or shiny. It becomes worth millions when two billionaires want the same object and only one can have it. Ultra-rare Washington quarter errors, especially those tied to undocumented mint mishaps, have the potential to ignite bidding wars that rewrite expectations overnight. In such moments, value becomes emotional, competitive, and limitless. Imagine discovering that a grimy 1980 P quarter in your possession is struck on the wrong metal, weighing far outside normal tolerance, carrying design elements never intended for circulation. That coin would not be measured against other quarters, it would stand alone. Alone means power. Alone means museums, private vaults, and elite collectors all paying attention. That is how ordinary people become part of numismatic history. The phrase, "don't spend it," has never mattered more. Many ultra-rare coins vanished forever because someone used them to buy coffee or tossed them into a tip jar. Once gone, they are gone forever. If you suspect a coin is different, heavier, lighter, misaligned, strangely colored, unusually detailed, you stop, you protect it, and you investigate. The difference between curiosity and carelessness can be the difference between survival and loss. Could such a coin change your fortune overnight? History shows that it can, not because every quarter is magical, but because once in a generation one coin breaks all rules. The people who benefit are never the ones who rush, they are the ones who pause, question, and respect the object in their hands. Coins do not shout their value, they whisper it. The 1980 Washington quarter is still circulating today, which means the story is not over. Somewhere one could be sitting in a drawer, a toolbox, a forgotten pocket, wearing decades of dirt that hides a secret no one has noticed yet. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching and what turns everyday change into potential destiny. If you ever come across a dirty 1980 P Washington quarter, do not dismiss it and do not clean it. Understand that coins are historical documents, and some documents are written in ink no one expected. The power of such a coin is not just monetary, it is the power to surprise the world. In the end, wealth does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes quietly, stamped into metal, passed from hand to hand, waiting for the one person who understands that even the smallest object can carry the weight of millions. And if that coin ever finds its way to you, remember, fortune favors the patient, not the spender. Next up. The Washington quarter is one of the most familiar coins in United States history, yet hidden within this everyday design are stories that sound unbelievable at first glance. When people hear 1998p Washington quarter, they often think it's just pocket change, something spent without a second thought. But in the world of coin collecting, ordinary coins sometimes carry extraordinary secrets. A single detail, a tiny flaw, or a rare production mistake can transform a forgotten quarter into a life-changing discovery. Year 1998 was a massive production year for U.S. quarters, and the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark, struck hundreds of millions of these coins. Because of this huge number, most 1998p quarters are worth only their face value. However, collectors don't chase numbers alone, they chase rarity within abundance. This is where the story becomes exciting, because among millions of normal coins, a microscopic fraction can stand apart from all the rest. Condition plays a dramatic role in coin value, and this is where many people misunderstand the market. A very dirty or worn quarter usually has less value, not more. Dirt, corrosion, scratches, and heavy wear hide details that collectors want to see. But there is one exception that fuels endless excitement: when a dirty coin hides a rare mint error. In such cases, the dirt doesn't create value, it conceals it. Some of the most valuable Washington quarters ever discovered were not valuable because of age, but because of mistakes made during minting. Off-center strikes, double dies, dramatic misalignments, missing layers, or wrong metal planchets can turn a common date into a collector's dream. If a 1998p quarter were struck with a major clearly visible error that survived authentication, it could command astonishing prices, sometimes tens of thousands, and in extreme museum-level cases, far more. The idea of a quarter being worth millions comes from legendary error coins and one-of-a-kind minting accidents, not from normal circulation pieces. When collectors talk about overnight fortune coins, they are referring to discoveries so rare that only one or two examples exist. These are coins that rewrite catalog books, not coins found by the thousands. A 1998p quarter would only reach extraordinary value if it were completely unique and verified beyond doubt. Many people make the mistake of cleaning a dirty coin, believing it will increase its worth. In reality, cleaning a coin can permanently destroy its value. Collectors want originality, even if that originality includes dirt. If someone believes they have a rare 1998p quarter, the most important step is to leave it untouched. Cleaning removes surface evidence that experts need to evaluate authenticity and errors. Authentication is the gatekeeper between hype and reality. No matter how exciting a coin looks, its value means nothing without professional confirmation. Expert graders examine weight, metal composition, strike patterns, and microscopic details. Only after this process can a coin be considered truly rare. Many dreams end here, but the real treasures begin here too. What makes the Washington quarter so powerful in storytelling is that it represents possibility. It reminds people that history, mistakes, and chance collide in the smallest objects. A quarter doesn't need gold or silver to become valuable, it needs a story that cannot be repeated. That is why collectors search rolls, drawers, and old jars with hope, knowing that rarity often hides where no one is looking. The market for rare coins is driven by collectors, not fantasy. Prices rise when demand meets verified rarity. A dramatic mint error on a 1998p quarter could attract fierce competition among collectors, pushing values higher with every auction. But without that rarity, no amount of excitement can create real worth. Truth is what sustains long-term value. The real power of a coin like this is not guaranteed wealth, it is potential. Potential to be rare, potential to surprise, potential to change understanding. Coins that truly change fortunes are not common, but they do exist, and every major discovery started as just another coin. That belief keeps collectors searching generation after generation. So if someone believes they own a special 1998p Washington quarter, the message is clear. Do not rush, do not clean, do not sell cheaply, and do not trust rumors. Knowledge protects value. Patience protects opportunity. The difference between a spent quarter and a prized artifact is careful judgment. In the end, the Washington quarter teaches a powerful lesson. Not every coin is a treasure, but every treasure was once overlooked. True wealth in coin collecting doesn't come from exaggeration, it comes from rarity, authenticity, and respect for history. And sometimes, history really does fit in the palm of your hand. Next up, the 1982D Washington quarter holds a special place in American coin history, not because it was meant to be rare, but because of what went wrong during its creation. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States Mint was facing budget pressures, quality control issues, and changing production priorities. Unlike many earlier and later quarters, 1982 quarters were released without mint sets, which immediately made high-quality examples harder to find. That single decision quietly planted the seed for future collector demand, turning what looked like an ordinary pocket coin into a serious target for specialists decades later. When people talk about an ultra-rare 1982 D Washington quarter, they are usually not talking about an average circulated coin. They are talking about a very specific type, one that carries unusual characteristics, striking anomalies, or exceptionally sharp details that survived against all odds. Most 1982 D quarters were heavily used in daily commerce. They were scratched, dulled, stained, and damaged by circulation. Because of this, truly standout examples became scarce, and scarcity is where value begins its climb. Now let's address the idea of a very dirty condition. Dirt alone does not destroy value, and this is something many people misunderstand. In some cases, dirt actually protects the surface underneath from further wear. Collectors do not judge a coin by how shiny it looks to the untrained eye, they judge it by the integrity of its original metal surface. A dirty 1982 D quarter can still be important if the details, like Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the rim, remain strong and undisturbed. Cleaning such a coin incorrectly can permanently destroy its worth, which is why patience can sometimes be more valuable than polish. The true power of the 1982 D quarter appears when we enter the world of errors and anomalies. Coins with off-center strikes, doubled details, weak or missing design elements, or unusual planchet problems can leap from being worth cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. These are not fantasy values. They are based on how rare it is for a mistake to escape the mint's quality checks and survive long enough to be discovered. The rarer and more dramatic the error, the stronger the collector interest becomes. Another factor that drives value is condition rarity, not just age. Millions of 1982 D quarters were struck, but very few survived in exceptionally well-preserved condition. A coin that avoided circulation almost entirely is far rarer than one that simply exists. This is why grading plays such a crucial role. When a professional grading service confirms a coin's authenticity and condition, it transforms uncertainty into confidence, and confidence is what serious buyers pay for. Stories about coins being worth millions overnight often grow from a kernel of truth mixed with exaggeration. There are U.S. coins worth millions, but those values come from a combination of extreme rarity, historical importance, and elite collector demand. An ordinary 1982 D Washington quarter, even in dirty condition, does not automatically fall into that category. However, the reason these stories persist is because one overlooked detail can dramatically change a coin's future, and that possibility keeps people searching. What truly gives a coin the power to change someone's fortune is knowledge, not hype. Knowing what to look for: die varieties, strike quality, metal abnormalities, and originality separates a hopeful dreamer from a successful collector. A person who understands these factors can recognize value where others see only pocket change. That is how rare discoveries are made, not by luck alone but by informed observation. There is also a psychological element at play. Coins like the 1982 D quarter represent the idea that history can be hiding in plain sight. Every collector remembers the first time they realized an everyday object could carry hidden significance. This emotional connection fuels demand, and demand fuels prices. The stronger the story behind a coin, the stronger its appeal becomes within the collector community. It is important to understand that cleaning, selling quickly, or trusting exaggerated claims can do more harm than good. A coin's value is not unlocked by excitement but by careful handling, proper storage, and expert evaluation. Many potentially valuable coins lose their premium forever because someone tried to improve them without understanding collector standards. Sometimes the smartest move is simply to stop, protect the coin, and seek informed guidance. The 1982 D Washington quarter is not a magical lottery ticket, but it is a powerful reminder of how value is created. In the right circumstances, right variety, right condition, right verification, it can rise far above face value. While it may not realistically turn someone into a billionaire overnight, it can still represent a meaningful and surprising asset when approached with realistic expectations. In the end, the real lesson behind the fascination with ultra-rare quarters is this: value is not always obvious, and history does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers from the bottom of a pocket, waiting for someone patient enough to listen. Coins reward curiosity, discipline, and honesty far more than hype, and those who understand this truth are the ones who truly profit in the long run. Next up, the 1997 P Washington quarter is one of those coins that many people overlook every single day, yet it quietly holds a fascinating place in modern U.S. coin history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this quarter came at the very end of the classic Washington quarter era, just before the famous state quarters program changed American coinage forever. Because of this timing, the 1997 P quarter represents the final chapter of a design that had been in circulation since 1932, giving it historical importance that collectors deeply respect. At first glance, a dirty or worn 1997 P Washington quarter may look completely ordinary, almost worthless. Many people would spend it without a second thought, never imagining that certain versions of this coin can be extremely valuable. Dirt, discoloration, and heavy circulation do not automatically destroy a coin's worth. In fact, in rare cases, a dirty condition can hide something extraordinary beneath the surface. An error, a die variety, or a striking anomaly that transforms a common coin into a life-changing discovery. What truly drives the value of a 1997 P Washington quarter is not the year alone, but the story locked inside the metal. While millions were minted, only a tiny number escaped the mint with rare and dramatic errors. These include off-center strikes, double strikes, clip planchets, and extreme die errors. When such mistakes occur, they create coins that were never meant to exist, and collectors are willing to pay astonishing amounts to own them. Some of the most valuable examples come from minting errors so rare that only a handful are known. Coins struck on the wrong metal, coins missing layers, or coins with dramatic doubling can reach prices that sound unbelievable to the average person. These are the types of quarters that do not sell for face value or even hundreds of dollars, but instead enter elite auctions where serious collectors compete fiercely. Condition still matters, but rarity matters more. A dirty 1997 P Washington quarter with a confirmed major mint error can be worth more than a clean, ordinary example. Dirt can be cleaned professionally by experts after authentication, but rarity can never be created. This is why experienced collectors always warn, never rush to sell a coin until you fully understand what you have. It is important to understand that not every 1997 P quarter is valuable. Most are worth only face value. However, history shows that some of the rarest and most expensive US coins ever found started as ordinary pocket change. The difference between a common coin and a legendary one is knowledge. Those who recognize what others ignore are the ones who benefit the most. Professional grading and authentication are critical. If a 1997 P Washington quarter shows unusual weight, strange edges, missing details, or abnormal thickness, it deserves expert attention. Certified coins with verified errors gain instant credibility in the collector market, and this is where values can multiply dramatically. A coin without certification is only a claim. A certified coin becomes a documented treasure. The market for rare US error coins is global and constantly growing. Wealthy collectors, investors, and museums actively seek pieces that tell a unique story. Coins like a rare 1997 P error quarter are not just metal, they are historical accidents frozen in time. That emotional and historical value is what drives prices into shocking territory. Many people dream of finding a coin that changes their life overnight, and while such discoveries are rare, they are real. Stories exist of collectors who unknowingly held extraordinary coins for years before discovering their true worth. The key lesson is patience. Selling too quickly or cheaply can mean losing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you believe you have a special 1997 P Washington quarter, do not clean it yourself, do not polish it, and do not trust random opinions. Mishandling can permanently destroy value. Treat the coin as if it could be important because once damage is done, it cannot be reversed. This coin reminds us that fortune does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it hides in a pocket, a drawer, or a pile of old change, waiting for the right eyes to notice it. The 1997 P Washington quarter may look ordinary, but in rare circumstances it can represent something extraordinary. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge is more powerful than luck. While only a tiny number of 1997 P Washington quarters will ever be truly valuable, those rare pieces prove one thing: never underestimate the potential of a simple coin. What looks small today could become a powerful symbol of opportunity tomorrow. Next up, the 1990 D Washington quarter is one of those coins that quietly sits in pockets, jars, and drawers, ignored by most people, yet constantly searched by serious collectors. At first glance, it looks ordinary, especially when it is dirty, worn, or darkened by years of circulation. But history has proven again and again that ordinary-looking coins can sometimes hide extraordinary stories, and that is exactly why the 1990 D quarter continues to attract attention in the coin world. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint and millions were produced, which is why many people assume it has no value beyond face value. That assumption is where opportunity often begins. In numismatics, value is not only about age or shine, it is about rarity within normality. Even a common year can become highly valuable if something unusual occurred during its creation. When collectors talk about ultra-valuable Washington quarters, they are not talking about a normal worn coin pulled from change. They are talking about rare minting errors, unusual metal compositions, or coins that somehow escaped quality control. A 1990 D quarter with a dramatic error can transform from a simple 25-cent coin into a treasure worth thousands, and in extremely rare cases, much more. Some of the most valuable examples include quarters struck on the wrong metal planchet, coins with major off-center strikes, doubled dies, or severe die breaks. These errors are not visible to the casual eye, especially when the coin is dirty, which is why many valuable pieces go unnoticed for years. Dirt does not destroy value, sometimes it hides it. There is a dangerous myth online that any dirty 1990 D quarter is worth millions of dollars. This is not true, and believing it can cause disappointment. However, the truth is still exciting. Certain verified error examples have sold for life-changing money, especially when authenticated by professional grading services. Real value comes from rarity, not rumors. A normal 1990 D Washington quarter in heavily circulated condition is usually worth face value. But if that same coin shows a confirmed mint error, collectors can pay hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness. In the rarest scenarios, extraordinary errors can command prices that shock even experienced collectors. What makes this coin fascinating is that the Denver Mint was producing at very high speed during this era. High speed increases the chances of mistakes. Most errors were caught and destroyed, but a tiny number escaped into circulation. Those survivors are the coins that collectors dream of finding. Condition still matters, but error rarity matters more. A dirty coin should never be cleaned aggressively, because cleaning can permanently damage the surface and destroy collector value. Many high-value coins were found in poor visual condition but later authenticated as genuine rarities. Professional grading is the key that separates fantasy from fortune. Without certification, a coin is just a guess. With certification, it becomes documented history. This step is what turns a suspected rare quarter into a serious collectible with real market demand. Stories of people becoming rich overnight from coins usually begin with knowledge, not luck. They checked details, learned about errors, and verified what they had. The coin itself did not create wealth, the understanding of it did. The 1990 D Washington quarter represents a lesson for every collector. Never underestimate what you hold, but never exaggerate it either. Real treasures exist, but they are rare, specific, and proven, not imagined. If you believe you have a 1990 D quarter with something unusual, treat it carefully, study it closely, and seek professional evaluation. That single step can mean the difference between a forgotten coin and a verified collectible. In the end, this coin is powerful not because every example is worth millions, but because one rare example can change a life. That possibility, small, real, and thrilling, is what keeps collectors searching, learning, and hoping that the next ordinary-looking coin might secretly be extraordinary.